Go ahead and kick him off, Chris. I'm in the middle of something.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the man is back and he's got his name back. He worked too hard for it, Your Honor. If you know that movie, let us know in the comments. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special edition of the SWAC page here on a Friday afternoon. My name is Chris Stevens. I am joined once again by Ken Rashad, and we are going to talk about some very, 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 very important news in the world of HBCUs and, of course, the game of the weekend, or which arguably could be the game of the year. And welcome back, Ken. Glad to have you back.
Yes, sir. I am back. I'm like really back. I'm not like just sneaking out with, the missus calls me, whatever. I'm still on the mend, but I have been medically cleared to be here. So chances are I'll be here next week. Just simply saying. But I am medically cleared. My wife calls me Ken again. And I can do some things. I can drive myself. A lot of things I can do by myself now. Anyway, I'm back.
and it's great to have him back. I mean, we've been holding down the fort, so I definitely want to shout out my colleagues, my coworkers, Jared Hoffman and Kendrick Marshall. We have been running this 3-man weave to perfection, in my humble opinion. I mean, we've still been putting out the stories, we've still been doing podcasts, but now that the boss man is working his way back, we are back in full force, and just in time too, because the second half of football season is kicking off. We got some fun games this weekend in the SWAC that we're going to talk about. But first, Ken, I know there's some other news and notes that we got to get to.
Yeah. So like Chris said, we're going to talk about football. Okay. But just to kind of bring you guys up to speed, this ain't news. We're not trying to bring down the mood, but these are some items that I think we need to discuss before we get into the actual. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the entire SWAC slate of games on tomorrow. We're going to look at the standings. We're going to talk about the game of the year. And we're going to talk about some other things. But first, I want to start with a little news because I found this to be somewhat disturbing, in which an HBCU, FAMU in particular, might be in a situation to where they may be forced to have a road somewhere on that campus named after the late Charlie Kirk. Let me just read the details of that real quick here for those. We've got the screenshot up, but I just want to get the details here. And it says, just for those who may not be aware, a Florida state representative has introduced a controversial bill requiring all public colleges and universities in the state to rename at least one roadway on their campuses in honor of the late conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The bill filed by Republican Representative Kevin Steele from Dade City mandates that within 90 days of enactment, each institution's board of trustees must rename a prominently traveled road or segment on their campus to Charlie James Kirk Road, according to WCTV. Failure to comply could result in the withholding of state funding for the institution. And you guys, if you don't know who Charlie Kirk is right now, who's the person over Turning Point USA, you might want to look him up, okay? I just want to go over the details here. The bill applies to all 40 public universities and colleges in Florida, including major institutions such as the University of Florida, which would rename Stadium Road, Florida State University, University of South Florida, and Florida A&M University, among others. Specific campuses and their designated roads for renaming have been outlined in the legislation, according to the Tallahassee Democrat. The bill filed by Steele carries real consequences, as institutions that do not rename the specified roads within the given time frame risk losing state funds, a leverage point to ensure compliance. The 2026 Florida legislative session is expected to consider the bill. Now, come on, man. I mean, Chris Stevens, well, this is, and the thing is, I don't know if this has anything to do with that new president, because from the way it looks right now, this is something that is likely going to happen, whether the person was Democrat or Republican or not. I just find this to be really, really alarming. I really do. Real quick.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. I mean, and I really, this is really, it is alarming. It's shocking. And like you said, granted, we all can agree that Marvin Johnson was, installed,
right,
by DeSantis and his clowns, but it wouldn't matter if, Dr. Timothy Beard was still president, or they got another person who was, more, liberal or left leaning or whatever as president. They're literally trying to force. I mean, because I think what people don't understand about white supremacy, especially in the 21st century, is that these white dudes and white people can't stand the fact that people don't want to be around them. So they force themselves onto people. Let's look at the president of the United States, for crying out loud. I mean, he's literally got judgments against him for forcing himself on people. So that's pretty much what the conservative right wing white supremacy situation is. Oh, you're gonna be around us whether you like it or not, and that's basically what this is. And this dude, shout out to Silas. Yeah, they absolutely have. And to name a road after a dude who literally had no political affiliation, no real work to speak of other than sowing seeds of discontent and red pilling and inselling his own community to believe that Black people and LGBTQ people and women are the problem. That would be like me having a road named after. That would be like me taking the place of whatever statue Jefferson Davis has somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Stevens statue in whatever. What was the capital of the South during the Civil War? I forgot. My social studies
South.
During the Civil War. My social studies professor is going to kick my ass because I forgot. I totally forgot.
I don't know. Somebody know. I know somebody knows that. I should know that.
I know somebody put it in the comments, but it would be
Charleston? I don't know.
I don't think it was Charleston.
Was it?
Might have been Columbia. I'm not sure. But that would be like, either way, you'd like wherever there was a Confederate flag, you put my statue there. Chris Stevens, a sports writer from Delaware State University. Oh gosh, wasn't he great? That's basically what they're trying to make FAMU do. And, and we all know that HBCUs suffer with funding anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Public or private.
Right.
So for this to be a threat, to say, okay, we're going to take the resources that we already don't give you if you don't name a road after this guy.
Yep. Okay.
It's weird. It's absolutely weird.
Like I said, we agreed before. We aren't going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I thought it was just at the very least important enough to mention it.
Troy Franklin said it was Richmond, Virginia. I should have known that.
Richmond. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to necessarily say it gets better. I'm not going to necessarily say it gets worse, but it doesn't get better. Okay.
No.
Because now there's Blexit, a conservative group, is planning to invade HBCU campus homecomings. Okay. And real quick, there is a tour of Blexit, an organization funded by conservative commentator Candace Owens, is taking a tour called Educate to Liberate to 10 campuses this month, according to the Blexit website. The mission of the tour is about sparking powerful conversations on HBCU campuses. The tour will feature Blexit members Stephen Davis, Anthony Watson, Tofor Savannah, Craven, Craig Long, and the so-called Blexit student movement team. Anyway, so there is like a list of HBCU campuses schedules that this group has already appeared on. Apparently, they've already made the rounds. Okay, because on the 25th, they supposedly were at Johnson C. Smith. I guess last week they were on Alabama State's campus. Today, they supposedly at Jackson State. Next week, the 17th, Tennessee State, and then FAMU. Oh my God, here's FAMU again. 10/23, North Carolina Central. October 24th, they're at Howard. October 24th, they're also at Hampton. And then on the 31st, they're going to be at Bowie State. Shout out to Chris Stevens. Shout out to Jared Hoffman and 10th and Lincoln University. Not too far from Chris Stevens. Okay. So, real quick. What are we to make out of this? Because we had a brief conversation about this. And again, guys, we're going to get to the sports. This is just the last news item that we wanted to talk about. Okay. But there is a shift going on here, man. Now I want to make this perfectly clear. And you guys feel free to disagree with me. There is a part of me that is okay with maybe a group who may have an opposing view on a particular subject. Chris Stevens and I had this conversation, and Chris Stevens was not very kind in his words, and I understand why he felt the way he did, you know, and I almost kind of agreed with him. Okay, I don't have a problem with the message per se. I do have a problem with the person who was backing this. Candace Owens. Say what you will. She's no dummy. She's very intelligent. But I think it's safe to say her track record is one in which she is not a fan of the black man. She is when she wants to be. Because, you know, it wasn't that very long ago when someone pulled her card and she, you know, her awakening came. And so now all of a sudden we got this movement now to have an appearance on HBCU campus. But I am of the belief that when you're talking about universities here, okay, various views, people come from all different walks of life. Everybody isn't going to agree upon everything. And I asked Chris Stevens, I said, remember back in like the 60s, back when Malcolm X, back when he was with the Nation of Islam and he was making all of these appearances on white campuses, like at Harvard and some of these mainstream white universities, going in and making his same, you know, his view, which was not very popular among white America. And I asked him, I said, so how is this any different? And so I'm just simply saying, I'm not against opposing views. But at the same time, don't call yourself trying to pee on me and call it rain when I know that your track record isn't one that is about uplifting folks. Because look, man, I know some black Republicans out there, and I know they give a damn about their folks. I know some black Republicans out there, man, and I'm telling you, they just got a different viewpoint, but they don't crap on their people in the process of trying to come up either. It's okay to have a different viewpoint. I respect you when you do, but you don't have to mess on your own people in the process. That's where I have a problem with all of this. So maybe if this was someone else who's different, someone who may very well have the intention of black folks, you know, well-intended, I would be for this. But as soon as I saw Candace Owens, I'm like, yeah, you know. Maybe she is genuine. I don't know. Now that she's had her card pulled, I don't know. I'm just simply saying. You don't think so, Chris?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. And I think what bothers me about this group is I expected those white dudes to go on Tennessee State's campus looking for trouble.
Yeah, that was
because that's what white people do. I was telling Kim before we came on the air, or did I say this while we were on the air? I just said it. Yeah, I just said it. White people, their big thing is, you know, imposing themselves because they feel like it's their privilege to be heard. It's the debate me bro stuff. And, you know, make me change my mind or I'll change your mind. And it's like, no, I don't have to hear anything you have to say if you're against me, my people, or anybody that I know and love. Because, you know, when you talk about black people, hello, I mean, I have LGBTQ family members, and I'm not going to sit here and hear people like Charlie Kirk say they should be stoned to death for who they love, which is why I don't really care too much about him, you know, talking out the side of his neck in hell. I don't. Right. So, you know, but as far as Candace Owens goes, I mean, shouts out to Tiger Nation Undefeated. I mean, I hope so too. Because if you guys are not familiar, Candace Owens said the First Lady of France, First Lady of French. Wow. Woo! Embarrassing. The First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron, is not a woman. And Brigitte Macron said, I will come to court with pictures of my hoo-ha to prove that I'm a woman. But But the funny thing is, Candace Owens looks like Jermaine Stewart. So who is she to say that looks like anybody look like a, not a woman? But I digress. We don't have to take our clothes off. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, as far as this Brexit stuff goes, I was telling Kim before we got on the air, I guess it is okay that these kids see that you're going to run into people who don't have the same viewpoints as you all the time. But my issue is, there are Black populations on different campuses in these specific cities. Like Johnson C. Smith, there's Queen's University in Charlotte. There is Charlotte University, used to be UNC Charlotte. You old NBA fans might remember that's where the legendary Cedric Cornbread Maxwell went to school. Mississippi, you could have gone to Brett Favre's alma mater, Southern Miss. I mean, they got the money. They done stole it from the welfare line. Nashville, they could have went to Vanderbilt, for crying out loud. And Tallahassee, you could have gone to Florida A&M. Durham, North Carolina, and Duke, right around the corner from each other. So it just seems like they're trying to indoctrinate Black kids into selling their souls and their people down the river, and that's something that I can't get with, and that's why I have no problem in calling the 5 people on my screen coons. That is my opinion, and not everybody shares it, and I'm fine with it. But to me, if you are going on Black campuses with the intent of trying to present an opposing viewpoint, knowing that the opposing viewpoint wants you dead, that's cooning in the nth degree to me. And I'm not gonna apologize for that. But at the same time, I do want to say, again, the opinions of Chris Stevens do not represent those of HBCUsports.com. Just want to put that out there. But I do want to say to our alumni and our students in these campuses on the screen, if you don't want to engage, don't. Yeah. Don't give these folks the satisfaction of saying, oh, you see how these jigaboos treated us. And I mean, basically what I feel like this type of group is trying to, show that they're the good ones, because there are white people who always say stuff like, I never forget, there was a kid in high school. I went to a predominantly Black high school, and there was this white kid who sat next to me in class, and I guess he felt comfortable telling me, he said, you're cool. You're not like the rest of them in this school. And at 16 years old, I'm like, the rest of who? Because my antennas were already raised. I mean, my mother, to her everlasting credit, was pro-Black everything. Is pro-Black everything. I mean, she taught me, she was wearing Homie the Clown, get my knowledge from a white college, I don't think so shirts in the early 90s. So my mom impressed black pride upon me early in my life. So, sitting next to a white kid in high school saying, oh, you're not like one of them. And I'm just like, am I not? Okay. But, just this type of group that feels like they get off on, white folks patting them on their head saying, yeah, you're the good Negroes. When they want all Negroes dead, it's just pointless to me.
Silas asked the question, do they think they're actually going to change people's minds? You know what, Silas? They might. They might. You got some folks who could very well be influenced by what is said by this group of people. Just like it might be possible for someone on campus who knows, who has a clue, who could possibly change some of the minds of some of these young folks who are going to be representing this group. Now, I'm not saying it's likely because they're getting paid for this. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, do they actually think they're going to change people's minds? It's possible. I'm not going to sit up here and say they won't. I'm not, for all we know, it could be a challenging debate, a constructive debate where it's all said and done. Each side says what they have to say, and they just go their separate ways. But I'm just simply saying, all right. Finally, do we want to? I guess we'll get to the subject, but we want to talk about this Lincoln thing real quick, right? Before, because this is a part of the schedule, and I'm wondering I don't know what we ought to do first. Let's talk about this real quick, because there was this is Alcorn State's coach. It could be Lincoln, it could be Tesla, it could be Mercury, it could be Camry, whomever. Somebody's going to show up and play. All I want to say is this, and Chris Stevens has led the charge on this, going back to the days of VUL. And now here we are and it's not just Alcorn. Valley plays them next week. I want to say Texas Southern played them last year.
No, Texas Southern plays them again the week after next.
This year?
October 25th.
Man, look, let me.
No, I'm sorry. Actually, it's VUL that they play. Texas Southern, that is.
Look, man, I'm gonna just keep this real, man. I know this isn't anything that Dr. Charles McClellan of the SWAC could legislate, or maybe he could. I don't know.
He should try.
But at some point, man, some of you schools who are playing Virginia University, Lynchburg, and Grambling has been guilty of it in the past. But at some point, man, we all of the schools that are out there at the NAIA level and Division III level, you cannot tell me, you cannot find some other schools to play that some of these schools like Lincoln University. What's the name of the school in California? Is it Lincoln?
Yeah, it's Lincoln University,
California. And what's the other? Virginia University, Lynchburg. I mean, you got no disrespect to Langston. I'm just simply saying, man. Who was it that UAPB plays this week?
Westgate Christian, I believe.
What is Westgate? Where's Westgate? What division is that?
I think it's the U.S. The United States Collegiate Athletic Association.
Okay, I'm just simply saying, man. Especially when you're playing schools who have a track record of canceling games. The fact that you have to put a statement out, and I spoke to someone yesterday at Alcorn, by the way. The fact that you got to literally have programs and put statements out indicating, yeah, the game is going to go because of the team that you're supposedly playing against has shown you in the past that they've got a penchant for not showing up for games. Why do you play games like this, man? Why?
And I said this to Kim before we got on the air, and I'm going to say it to y'all now. This quote looks funny, but is the act of a coach who knows that his office is just about cleaned out. If Cedric Thomas survives this season, I will get the Alcorn State logo cut into my hair. As you can see, I don't have a lot of hair to cut, but if Cedric Thomas is still the Alcorn State football coach by the time we hit fall 2026, I will be floored because this Alcorn State team has gotten worse progressively since Fred McNair left. You should have gave Fred McNair what he wanted.
Zach McKenna, some of these schools scared of competition. UAPB knows Harding and some other Arkansas D2s would beat them. Valley lost to multiple D2s a few years ago. That's part of the problem. And you know what? He's telling the absolute truth.
Mm-hmm.
UAPB played Arkansas Baptist. And that's an HBCU. But UAPB ain't got no business playing Arkansas Baptist. And yet some of you, Mississippi Valley State University, get pissed when I tell you maybe you need to consider the option of going to D2 because of this. UAPB, that means you too.
I gotta say that Arkansas Baptist has improved. They're 3-3 this year so far. So I mean, at the NAIA level, that ain't bad. But
okay,
at the same,
but okay. Is
Tigers
Baptist NAIA?
Yes.
Are they really? Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't even know they were that high. Okay, fine. Shout out to Arkansas Baptist. Okay, but here's the point. My understanding is that Lincoln plays Alcorn State this week. They play Valley next week. They're not even going back to California. They're not.
Road trip.
I was told Valley is paying, if I'm not mistaken, I was told Valley is paying $10,000 for that game next week. They said, okay, here's your $10,000. Go ahead and just use this. And they're literally going to leave wherever they're staying right now, and they're just going to stay the rest of the week. Damn school. I guess, I guess everything is virtual now, right? I mean, I guess you can always get on a Zoom call or just get the assignments. I get it.
Oh, Lawrence corrected me. It's not Texas Southern. It's Prairie View that's playing Lincoln on the 25th. God,
no way.
I have to say that schedule was probably made before Tremaine Jackson got there, so I'm not going to put this on Coach Jackson.
No, I'm not putting this on the coaches. This is the ADs.
Yeah,
this ain't got nothing to do with the coaches. This is nothing. This is all on the ADs, man. At some point, you got to value. You got to value the integrity of your program.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that you have to address the financial needs of the program. Nobody's arguing that. But you mean to tell me out of all of the damn schools in your region, Texas Southern, UAPB, Mississippi Valley, especially UAPB, and Zach was right on. You got Harding University, you got Arkansas Tech, you got, well, we already saw what happened when you went to Conway. We get that. What's that school in the purple?
Central Arkansas. The school that gave it Scottie Pippen.
We already saw that. But my point is, man, there are enough regional schools within your region. Accept the challenge. Why would you have to call some school down in Oakland, California to come all the way down to Arkansas when you've got Division II and NAIE schools right there in your backyard? Why? And it says a lot about what your intentions are. I'm just telling you that to you ADs. You can get pissed at me all you want. It says a lot for how you deal with your, it says a lot for how you deal with your program, period, or what you think of your program. Yeah. It says a lot to what your presidents believe of this program. I'm going to tell you now, let somebody from Grambling tell me that we schedule one of these schools. I'm telling you, I will raise holy hell. This is beneath some of you. No school in the damn SWAC should be playing in some school named Lincoln University, California. When you got Harding, when you've got Delta State, when you've got Langston, when you've got, I guess, Arkansas Tech, whatever, I get it. Louisiana College. There are plenty of schools within the region that you can play. But because you're too damn scared, because you fear competition, but because you are so desperate for a damn, you want a cheap thrill. That's exactly what this comes down to. This is ridiculous. This is Division I football. This is FCS. And I'm here to tell you guys now, if these are the tactics that you think are necessary during the course of the year, look, man, you just need to consider stepping down. And I mean that. I know why you're staying. But believe me, this isn't a good look. And for those of us who actually give a damn, I'm telling you, man, this is just a cheap thrill. Alcorn, this is beneath you. This really is. I understand times are tough, but you can do better than this.
And the thing that gets me, you know what's funny though? Oh, we got to shout out Mr. Jackson real quick. Thank you for the super chat, brother.
Oh, appreciate you, brother. Yeah, thank you so much.
And that's a nice rig. Is that a Peterbilt? I'm a truck guy, so I have to look. Yeah, but I think what's crazy about this is that.
By the way, real quick, we do have super chats available. We do have a challenge, 10 chats before the end of the live stream. We will take your super chats. Okay,
one down, 9 to go.
$5. All right. Go ahead, man. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's crazy because we want our kids to be and we want to recruit and attract the best kids. You're not going to get the best kids if they're playing a school where the kids are working 9 to 5s to stay in a building that the coach owns and is running like a slumlord. And you're not going to get the best when you're playing a school who I literally did an expose on. Like it's on the HBC Sports website. I did a story about how a former VUL coach came to me. Oh my God, you got the legend. Oh, you got the legend. The Kenworth. My vision is bad. I thought that was a Pete. No, that's a Kenworth W900. They're actually about to stop making those. It's one of the greatest rigs ever. You know, shout out to Kenworth for 60 years of greatness with that one. Sorry. But yes. You can't convince these kids that you're going to be playing the best of the best when they look on the schedule and don't know if they're going to have a homecoming game because the school has been prone to cancel games. It's weird. It's weird. And it's very disappointing for the SWAC and the MEAC. I told BJ Jones that I don't even want D2s scheduling Lincoln in California or VUL. I don't even want D2s because I'm telling you now, I don't think that Lincoln, California could beat Lane right now. and Lane is winless. So, I just don't see a good reason to play this, other, as Ken said, other than a cheap thrill. And Morgan State has VUL this weekend, but what's funny? What's really funny? VUL has won 3 of their last 4 games.
Ooh.
So, I mean, maybe the coach and the AD have finally, they're the same person. Maybe the coach and AD has finally got that program on the right track, maybe. But yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed at Morgan State, but it looks like a win that Morgan State is going to need after what they did at Georgetown last weekend. But at the same time, it was horrendous.
That was brutal.
And I just don't see a way. Like I said, I just don't see a good reason for playing any of these, Bishop Sycamore on the back of a Matchbox schools, Yeah, and Lincoln, Missouri has not been good in football in generations.
Lincoln, California blew out Lincoln, Missouri this season. And they played Lincoln, Missouri?
Yeah, and Lincoln, Missouri put something on their head. And that's probably the best that Lincoln, Missouri has looked in God knows how long. But
where was that game played?
It was at Lincoln. It was in Missouri.
So all those games, all of their games are on the road.
All of their games on the road. They got no home field, man. At least VUL has use of the Lynchburg City Stadium. I'll give VUL that. At least they get to use the Lynchburg City Stadium. Oakland has no home. I don't even think they have a home gym for basketball. Like I don't want to use the word, but my grandmother used to call it anything that was bootleg and rigged. Like this is the most n-rigged school I have ever heard of in my entire life. And it's just really weird to me that Alcorn is defending this. Like I said, Cedric Thomas is a man desperate for a win because no matter what happens, he probably knows that his behind is grass once that final gun goes off the last game of the season.
Man, I ain't put this all on. Go ahead.
When the Soul Bowl ends, he's out of there. But at the same time, as Ken said, the ADs and the presidents have to be smarter with scheduling. Like I give Tony Allen and Tony Tucker at Delaware State a lot of credit for scheduling, decent games this year. I mean, Bowie State, yes, we were supposed to be Bowie State, but they gave us a test. Southern Connecticut State coming in this weekend, a Division II. Not very good Division II, but still should be able to score a touchdown here or there. Del State should still win.
Is Division II? Southern Connecticut is Division II?
Yeah. Central Connecticut State is the FCS school you're thinking of. Southern Connecticut. Okay. Yeah, Southern Connecticut State is D2. But yeah. But they've also mixed that in with Monmouth, and they gave Monmouth a fight last week. I mean, they should have beat Sacred Heart. They lost to Sacred Heart in the referees. So I mean, you can schedule tough and you can schedule, easy. You can find that balance. So I'm asking SWAC ADs and MEAC ADs to just use your heads, man. I mean, there is no good reason to play Lincoln in California. There's no good reason to play VUL. I mean, for Pine Bluff, I don't even know what Westgate Christian sounds like. Some Blexit stuff.
Where's West? You know what? What's the name of the school? Westgate Christian? Is that what it is?
Yes, Westgate Christian College.
Westgate. Where's Westgate Christian? Someone know? What Westgate Christian University? Is that the same school? Yeah. Where are they located? In Houston? Westgate Christian University in Houston? Never heard of it. Houston, Texas. Westgate Christian University, 7547 South Freeway, Houston, Texas. What?
Learned something new today.
Oh my God. Houston. We have a problem.
And Texas Southern and Prairie View wouldn't touch them, but Pine Bluff would. Wow.
Okay. So let's look at this. Let's look at this full slate of games, man, because there are some games that stand out more than others. And this is the slate put on by the SWAC, which majority of the games start at 2:00. Okay. So we got Valley at Alabama A&M, which is interesting. That there's something interesting about that, right? Lincoln Oaks at Lincoln Oaks.
That's their mascot.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. We've already talked about that too much. Southern at Bethune-Cookman. Now, look, man, contrary to what some people may have thought, damn it, Bethune-Cookman got something to play for.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
They got something to play for.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Southern still got something to play for. And dare I say, because what? Each school's got what? One loss?
Mm-hmm.
This is the type of game where, given how things go the rest of the way, whoever loses this game could very well, I don't want to say the season's over with, but in the case of Bethune-Cookman, Alabama State and Jackson State, I mean, look, that's a tough one in and of itself, right? Mm-hmm. Alabama State's already beaten Bethune-Cookman, right?
Yes.
And BCU still has to play Jackson State. And Bethune-Cookman losing this game, man, that's gonna be a difficult climb for them to come out of. If Southern loses this game, now here's the thing with Southern. Southern loses this and they get into the loss, but you know what? Because the West is so damn weak.
I'm going to counter that in a minute.
Because the West is so damn weak. Southern could possibly lose this game and could maybe win the rest of the way out and could potentially play themselves in a situation to where, you know what, all they may need is a game or two and they can possibly find themselves playing for a damn SWAC championship game. I'm just simply saying. Okay. North Carolina Central at FAMU. Somebody's going to be okay. So here's the question: if FAMU loses this game, Chris Stevens, will the coach keep his job the rest of the way?
I think
granted, this is a non-conference game. But would FAMU be so bold as to say, Coach, thanks, but we're going to have to let you go? Or is it too soon? This is non-conference. This is a non-conference matchup.
And it's not like they're playing Little Sisters of the Poor. We're looking at North Carolina's. We're looking at a North Carolina Central team that's averaging darn near 40 points a game. Ooh. So this is a really good football team. I mean, like I said on my show, as a matter of fact, I have a show here on the HBC Sports Network called The MEAC and More. You guys should check that out. I said North Carolina Central right now is the team to beat in the MEAC. I firmly believe that. And I don't think this game gets James Colsey fired. I don't think any game the rest of the season gets James Colsey fired. I do think an accumulation.
Whoa. Say that again.
Hold on. Wait, let me finish. An accumulation of games is what's going to get James Colsey fired. Like if James Colsey finished this season 2-10, 3-8, 3-9, somewhere in that neighborhood, he's as good as grass. And especially if he loses the Florida Classic, which is a possibility this year because Bethune-Cookman's really good. They're much improved under Ray Woody III. So, Ray Woody Jr., excuse me. Ray Woody III is his son who plays on the team. But yeah, I don't think this game gets James Colsey fired, but I think if Florida A&M doesn't show any improvement the rest of the way, he absolutely is out there. I firmly believe that.
I know this may be a little premature, but all I will say is this. Tiffany tried to tell you, FAMU.
Team Tiffany for life.
Team Tiffany, baby. Shout out to my man, EA. Mm-hmm. My man, Stephen Campbell.
Anyway. Team Tiffany, respect.
All right. Westgate at UAPB. Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
we're going to skip Alabama State. And I will say this. Texas Southern and Grambling, the only reason why this game is of some significance to me, obviously it's a SWAC game. We get that. This game is a 6:00 start. It is Grambling's homecoming. And yes, it's killing me that I'm not there right now, obviously for obvious reasons. Couldn't go. But for those of you who may not be aware of Grambling's homecoming history, this 6:00 start is literally the first time I am going out there because look, believe me, I've been to a hell of a lot of Grambling homecoming games going back to the days when I was just a little infant, but a toddler. I've been to a lot of Grambling homecoming games, and I don't ever recall a kickoff of a homecoming kickoff game starting at 6:00. That is significant. So I'm just saying. And then, yes, I have to ask myself, what Grambling team is going to show up? Because I'm trying not to play these Jedi mind tricks, because Texas Southern beat UAPB. What they do? Didn't they put 51?
51-7.
They put 51 points. And I gotta remind myself, okay, it's Texas Southern, but they scored 51 on peanut butter.
But they also almost lost to Mississippi Valley State.
That's my point.
So which Texas Southern team is going to show up?
That's my point. Question. Who's going to show? I mean, no disrespect to Texas Southern, but look, there's a reason why Grambling hosts brings Texas Southern homecoming. It's a homecoming trick. That's what if it ain't Texas Southern, it's Mississippi Valley. That's just we do. It's by design. I'm like, dang, but they put 51 on UA peanut butter.
Ken, I want you to address this because I am very intrigued by this possibility right here.
What? Filter? Oh, come on, man. No comment. No comment. You are not going. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Nice try, Lawrence. No, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Feel free to comment though, Chris Stevens.
Hey, listen. If Felton Huggins gets the Kentucky State Thoroughbreds to the SIAC championship game, which is a real possibility, mind you, this year, he's going to be a man in demand, not just for any Grambling job, but any HBCU with that wants to move, that feels like they can make a level up, because that young fella can coach. Well, young fella, he's about the same age as me, but he's worked his way up. He's been an offensive coordinator. He's got that Kentucky State program improving every year, and hey, man, it could be worth a shot for somebody. Whether that's Grambling remains to be seen.
No comment. Okay, so So let's do this. Let's do this. We're gonna talk about SWAC game of the year, okay? But before we do this, let's go back real quick. Chris Stevens, Valley at UAPB. Who you got?
You mean Alabama A&M?
Valley at Alabama A&M. Who you got?
I got Alabama A&M, but it's gonna be close.
I got Alabama A&M. Okay. We're not gonna waste our time with Alcorn State. Okay. Southern at Bethune-Cookman. Who you got?
I got Bethune-Cookman.
Ooh.
Bethune-Cookman is averaging about,
you know what?
40 a game.
I think I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with Bethune-Cookman. All right.
And if Southern's offense can't stay on the field, that doesn't help their chances at all.
Okay. And I guess I'm guessing you got NCCU over Bam. Yep. Okay. Not gonna talk about UAPB. All right. Let's skip the game of the year. Texas Southern at Grambling. Who you got?
I'm going to give Mickey Joseph a reprieve, a stay of execution, if you will. I got Grambling in this one. Yes.
Really? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. I go Grambling. All right. Let's talk about this one, man. SWAC game of the year. All right, man. Look. What are we to make of this, Chris Stevens?
This is Alabama State's best shot. Right here, right now. They didn't have the healthy Andrew Body last year. They got him this year.
Right.
They didn't when Andrew Body wasn't on the field, that Alabama State offense, they went to a wide receiver for quarterback, and the young man filled it admirably, but he wasn't Andrew Body. They have an offense that is averaging nearly 40 a game. The only reason Bethune-Cookman, got even closer as they did last weekend was because Alabama State had pulled their starters already. So their defense is still very strong. Their top 11 or 22 on that side of the ball is still great. But at the same time, it may not matter because this Jackson State team just put 57 on Alabama A&M's heads. So I don't think the score that I picked for this game on my HBCU sports picks is 34-33 Jackson State, and I think it's going to be that close. I think
33 Jackson State.
I think they're going to pull it out, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, I think Jackson State has that championship advantage. I mean, they've been here before. Those guys have been here before under Prime and TC Taylor. They have that championship medal. Alabama State has not had that experience yet. I mean, they know that they need to beat Jackson State, because I can tell you now, whoever wins this game is going to represent the SWAC in Atlanta. Like, this is the de facto, not only is it the SWAC East championship game, it is the de facto SWAC championship game.
I'll go so far as to say this, because obviously defense, as they say, wins championships. All right. Yes. Both teams are pretty stout offensively. I think I'd even go so far as to say Jackson State is probably stronger defensively speaking. And despite all of that, I think I'm going with Bama State.
Ooh.
I think I'm going with Bama State. And the reason why I say that is because, like you said, Chris Stevens, I think it's time. I think Alabama State, this is their year. They are due. It's like the perfect storm. Andrew Body is due. Alabama State is due. And we saw this coming down the road. We saw this before the season even started. Alabama State, Jackson State. But the fact that you've got Alabama State in Jackson, I'm telling you, man, I think Eddie Robinson Jr. is going to probably have his finest coaching moment of the year. I go Alabama State over Jackson State.
Oh, man, I wish I could watch this one, but I'm going to be at my own homecoming. So you guys let me know how that works.
Oh, it's homecoming? What's that?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go cover the game. I'm probably not gonna be there long. If I see some folks, I'll dap some folks up, get some hugs, but then I'm gonna come right back up the road. So I'm not gonna be going long. But yeah, I'm gonna go cover that game and do all of that. So, but yeah, I want everything in me wanted to pick Alabama State, but I just, I've just seen too many situations. I mean, I'm a WNBA fan, as you can tell by my subhead. My Las Vegas Aces are gonna wrap this thing up tonight. Looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. And I've just seen too many situations where the champion that's supposed to be dethroned just gets by. And I don't think Jackson State is a get by team. I think Jackson State is a dynasty. Like, this is a team that, finally got it done under TC, even though they got to the Celebration Bowl twice under Prime. But I just don't see a situation where, unless Jackson State absolutely is overwhelmed by the moment, and Alabama State's going to rise to the occasion. I have no.
What? But see, I don't think because of where they're playing, I don't think Jackson State can be overwhelmed by the moment.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it would be an absolute shock if they just totally forgot how to play football. But I don't think Alabama State's going to forget how to play football either. So this is going to be a barn burner. Absolutely.
You think? I think. I don't know if it's going to be a barn burner. I think I'm up like this. Alabama State by 2 scores.
Ooh.
I believe Eddie Robinson Jr. is about to have his finest coaching moment of his career. And it will be done in the teeth of Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. And I'm sure that house is going to be packed. And believe me, I know it is hostile in that place. I just think there's something the only reason why I'm saying this, Chris Stevens, is because everything points to Jackson State. Everything points to Jackson State.
Right, it does.
Everything. Home team, but literally one of the best teams in the country. Great coaching staff. A plethora of returning players. Everything points to Jackson State. And because of that, there's just a part of me that says, Eddie Robinson Jr. ain't no punk bitch.
Hey, I'm not.
Tells me, man, this. He is looking forward to this, and I just think I think Alabama State is going to come with a totally different mentality, and I'm not saying blowout. All I'm saying is 2 scores. That could be 10 points. Alabama State by 2 scores. And I'm not. Okay, so let me ask you this. If Alabama State wins tomorrow, is it an upset?
To me, yes. Because I've just seen Jackson State just, last year's Jackson State team is probably one of the would it be probably one of the top 10 in their history? I would say so. I mean, those who are
say it again.
Is one of the top 10 teams in their history? I would say so. I mean, there are people who are more familiar with Jackson State. For Jackson State.
For Jackson State. Okay.
Yeah, I think last year's Jackson State team is probably one of the top 10 in their history. I could be wrong because Jackson State has a great history.
Stronger than the one that had with Shador and Travis?
Possibly. Huh? Because I would like to remind you, fine folks, that Jackson State has more Hall of Famers than some of your favorite PWIs.
Well, so Jackson, but I'm talking about that this team is okay.
I mean, this Jackson State team looks really. I mean, Alabama A&M. I mean, yeah, you can say 57 on Alabama A&M may not be that impressive, but the fact that they were just able to do whatever they wanted to do in Mobile, Alabama last weekend was just like, okay, maybe this Jackson State team is ready for the hunt. But also at the same time, Alabama State, I mean, they put 42 up at UAB. And I was rooting for them because I can't stand Trent Dilfer. I hate Trent Dilfer with everything in my body. I was hoping Alabama State would win that game. I really would. But the fact that they still were able to score 42 on an FBS, maybe Ken's right. Maybe this is Alabama State's year. We will find out, though. That's the beauty. As Chris Berman likes to say, that's why they
everything points to Jackson State right now. But I've seen enough of Alabama State this year to know they are a well-coached team, man. And Eddie Robinson Jr. knows this conference. He knows the environments enough to know. This is probably, I think it's safe to say, since he's been there, this is probably his best team.
Yes.
And I just think, man, that he's ready for the moment. And I say Alabama State by 2 scores, and I stand by that. And I'll admit I am going against logic here. I'm taking nothing away from TC. I'm taking nothing away from that squad. I've seen them play, but there's just this. If it doesn't happen, Alabama State this year, I don't know when it will, or it might have to happen again next year. But I'm just simply saying, man, because everything points to Jackson State. I just think that there's something about tomorrow that says Alabama State will be ready. I mean, they moved this game to ESPNU, man. So what's that? Jay Walker and Tiffany?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. This is. I'm looking forward to this game tomorrow. I am, without question. Final thoughts, man, before we call it a wrap.
Yeah. As a MEAC guy jumping into the SWAC, realm of things, I see why you folks are passionate, because this is some really good football being played across this conference this year. If you take away what's going on with Southern and different things of that nature. And someone said, someone was asking, if either Southern or Grambling still had a chance in the West. Here's the thing I want to make real quick. Prairie View's already 3-0 in the division. They beat Texas Southern. They beat Grambling. Sorry, Ken. They sweated it out against Alcorn State. They got a bye this week, and then next week they play Southern. So before people even buy Halloween costumes for their children, the SWAC West division could be finished. It could be Prairie View waiting on this Jackson State, Alabama State finish. Matter of fact, I'm probably sure Tremaine Jackson and his staff are going to be watching that game with ears and eyes open this weekend, because it would be they would have to lose to Southern and Arkansas Pine Bluff to lose the division at this point. And I don't see that happening. Southern maybe, Pine Bluff absolutely not. And then Southern would have to run the table, but then Prairie View would still have the tiebreaker because of the head-to-head. So this week may not be do or die for Southern, but next week absolutely is.
Okay. Chris, do that thing that you do, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for watching the SWAC page and everything that we do here on the HBCU Sports channel. Greatly appreciate you. You can subscribe to this channel, become a level 1 or level 2 member for the neat and tidy sum of $4.99 a month. You can get all the Black college sports news that's fit to print and broadcast as we like to give it to you. You can donate. We have Cash App now. Just go to HBCU Sport. Just go to Cash App. type in HBCU Sports, or you can go to the Zelle app, donate at hbcusports.com, drop your coins there. You can also donate on the website, hbcusports.com/donate. Don't forget, you can follow us on all matters of social media. We are on the Musty app, that's Twitter, TikTok, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky. Search for HBCU Sports. Chances are you will find us. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend, enjoy some great football, and we will be back next week with a full arsenal of podcasts to break it all down for you. So we're going to have some fun this weekend, man. Very much looking forward to it.
Appreciate you guys, man, for joining us. Like I said, I am back, and I will be back again next week. All right. So until next week, man, God bless you all.